former Manila Vice Mayor, now a social welfare undersecretary. What will his priorities be? And will he run for the Senate in 2019? Social Welfare Undersecretary Isko Moreno joins us live. Thank you for joining us. Sitting in for Pinky Webb, I'm Ruth Cabal. President Rodrigo Duterte has appointed Manila's former Vice Mayor, Isko Moreno, as a Social Welfare Undersecretary. The President signed Moreno's appointment papers last week. In October 2017, Moreno quit his post as Chairman and Chief Executive Officer of North Luzon Railways Corporation 3 months after his appointment. Moreno also ran in the 2016 senatorial race after serving Manila as Vice Mayor for 3 terms. What are his plans as he assumes his new post? Let's go straight to the source of the story, DSWD Undersecretary Isko Moreno. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ruth, at good morning sa lahat ng nanonood.
This is your first TV interview after your appointment, ano po?
Opo.
Thank you.
On my 3rd day. This is my 3rd day.
Okay. Nakakapanibago kasi Vice Mayor, nakakover kita before as Vice Mayor of Manila, and then you were a senatoriable, and now you're a USEC. Can you tell us about your appointment at the DSWD? Paano nangyari to?
Well, before anything else, I would like to thank the President. Alam mo, yung pagkakataong na ibigay sa akin, talagang pinipilit ko ngayong pahalagahan. Hindi naman, kukunti lang naman ang pupunan sa gobyerno. And I was given another opportunity by President Rodrigo Duterte. So, nakakapanibago dahil siyempre mas malaking ahensya to. Alam mo naman, Ruth, na sanay ako sa local government. At yung aking dating post naman, medyo hindi ko siya linya. So, I'd like to, parang at the time, parang give the President opportunity to put somebody there na medyo alam yung trabaho. So,
but this one, did you ask for this? Or may mga usapan na ba before na...
May mga usapan na before. Pag natatanong ako ng mga common friends, then sabi ko, sige, kung given a chance, mas gusto ko sa DSWD. O dahil yung ngayon, katulad ngayon, my 3rd day, may mga briefings na binibigay na sa akin, ano? Pag titingnan mo yung DSWD, parang isang malaking local government unit. Yung function niya talaga, social amelioration, poverty alleviation, halos yun din naman ang ginagampanan ng isang lokal na pamahalaan sa isang munisipyo o bayan. So, kaya medyo familiar ako and excited. Excited. So, I am very grateful to the President dahil medyo mas gamay, if I may put that in right perspective.
When you faced yung DSWD employees, merong story about the flag raising ceremony that you attended. You mentioned wanting to have a compassionate DSWD. What does that mean?
Well, malasakit. Ang paggobyerno, while it is true that you need academic background, theoretical approach sa paggobyerno, or even studies, maraming pamamaraan. Marami rin naman dalubhasa sa gobyerno. Pero yung huwag mawawala kanino man. Simula sa pinakamababa at pinakamataas hanggang pinakamataas sa bahagi ng pamahalaan. Ay yung malasakit. Because if the government, kung ang gobyerno may malasakit sa kapwa, then tama yung direksyon ng pagtugon doon sa suliranin ng ating mamamayan, especially yung higit na nakakarami. And kung pakikinggan nyo, si Pangulong Duterte, for so many instances, when you see him on television, he always talks about malasakit. Malasakit sa OFW, may malasakit sa mga sundalo, may malasakit sa mamamayan, mga naaberya, nagkatilubyo. Ang bottom line ng yung kanyang kwento sa bawat insidente, makikita mo yung pagmamalasakit. I think, serving the President, kailangan may isang antena lang kayo. So, kaya, at pangalawa, yung DSWD, bagay lamang na magmalasakit dahil kung in my personal point of view, yung DSWD talagang masyadong engaged sa tao. So, totoong mapapagod kami, totoong mahihirapan kami, totoong aaralin o bibigyan ng panahon. Pero makikita mo na hindi kami magkakamali kapag nangibabaw sa puso namin ay yung malasakit sa kapwa.
Ano pong gusto niyong tutukan bilang, do you already have a title undersecretary for whichever, or nabigyan na po ba kayo ng particular na?
Well, it's up to Secretary G. No? I'm waiting for any
Kasi may certain
particular.
focus, yung mga USEC.
But as of now, nag-usap kami ni Secretary G. Talagang pinatututukan ni Pangulo yung street children. Yun yung tinitingnan niya kasi mukha rin siya ng kahirapan. When we see these kids, alam mo naman, galing din ako sa kalye, no? Yun ang titingnan ng, for the past 3 days na nag-uusap kami ni Secretary G, yun ang direktiba ni Pangulong Duterte to attend to our street children. At saka, well, yung mga nag-exist na programa ng gobyerno, particularly in alleviating the plight or yung pagpapataas ng antas ng buhay ng tao.
But so far, meron na ba kayong nakita, even dati, di ba, Vice Mayor po kayo sa Maynila, nakikita nyo naman po kung paano nagtatrabaho ang DSWD, and there were controversies dun sa Pantawid Pamilya Pro, 4Ps. May nakikita po ba kayo na gusto nyong i-improve?
Abiria, tingin ko, nung luma, no? nung mga nagdaang panahon, tingin ko, kulang lang siguro sa pagtutok, no? Or yun, yung pag-target, no? nung particular na pagbibigay na solusyon doon sa particular na suliranin, lalo na sa panahon ng aberya. But the other day, doon sa isang part ng DSWD, lalo na patungkol sa mga emergencies and man-made and natural disaster, tingin ko mas magiging eficiente nowadays, mas magiging eficiente pa nowadays. With regard to yung 4Ps, no? Nakita nyo naman, narinig nyo naman na si Pangulong Duterte, ang kabilin-bilinan, siguraduhin at tiyakin na yung mga nakikinabang sa 4Ps ay yung tunay na nangangailangan. And I think, pag-iisipin mo yun, magaang na direktiba na yun ng Pangulo kasi hindi niya pipigilan, ipagpatuloy natin kung sa tingin na nakararami ito yung nakatutulong, pero tiyakin na hindi alam mo yung drum, kahit gano'ng karami tubig ng drum, pagka may butas sa gilid yan, baliwala din. So, tingin ko with Secretary Z around and other USECs, no, na the way I heard them for the past days, itong mga orientation and briefing, tingin ko makatitiyak ang ating mga mamamayan na manonood doon sa direktiba ni Pangulong Duterte and with the leadership of Secretary G, na yun ay titiyakin na yung mga datos. Maririgisa naman yun at madaling irigisa yung mga datos niya. Kaya magpapatuloy yun at pauularin pa at palalawakin pa. Because we went to DBM the other day, doon sa discussion ng mga USEC at ni Secretary G with DBM. Nilagyan na kami ng ano ba ang mga gusto nyong unahin. Ayun. Kaya yung mga kababayan natin nakikinabang na nanonood, huwag ko kayo mag-aalala. Nasa top of the list of 4Ps, social pension,
Sinabi ng street children.
street children, saka yung aming isang itong mahalaga nga pala, no? Going back to President's comments and directives by public messages, yung contractualization. Meron kaming isang malaking challenge ngayon nakakaharapin sa kagawaran, which is bagay lamang na harapin, no? Kasi meron kaming mga tinatawag na 12,000 MOAs and JOs, no? Ito yung mga contractual.
Sa mismong ahensya po ito, ano?
Nakalulungkot mang isipin, di ba? Ipinaglalaban ni Pangulong Duterte karapatan ng mga manggagawa sa pribadong sektor. Isa sa challenges ng DSWD is our employees. Now, the logic behind it, ako naman, no? Kaya I'm for it. Paano naman kami makatutulong sa mga mahihirap nating kababayan? Kung yung mga empleyado namin mahihirap din at walang kasiguruhan. Parang doesn't make sense.
So, ano daw ang plano niyong gawin?
Noong dinidiscuss sa budget, ipinaglalaban ni Secretary G at 10 ng mga kasamahan namin, USECs and ASECs, no, na kung po pwede, matugunan na yung kasiguruhan ng aming mga manggagawa sa kalye. Kasi ito mga field workers namin yan, mga tao namin sa opisina. Saka ako kasi, Ruth, no, based on experience, in the government for 20 years, almost 2 decades, no, nakapagpapataas ang moral ng isang manggagawang gobyerno. Yung siya'y may kapanatagan sa kinabukasan. So yung pagpataas ang moral ng tao sa gobyerno, yung efficiency level niya tumataas din. So same thing, pag tumaas ang efficiency level, yung output mataas din. Kaya I think bagay lamang na kung ang direktiba ng Pangulo ay yung mga contractualization sa pribadong sektor ay maitigil na, mabigyan na ng tuldok, eh bagay lamang na ang kagawaran ng, or ahensya ng gobyerno ay sumunod din. So yun ang pagpapaliwanag namin sa DBM. And I think mga taga-DBM din naman, ano naman din sila, taong gobyerno. So I hope someday, in the near future,
Ma-resolve ito, no?
Opo, tingin ko po, may awa ang Diyos. Dahil by principle, nag-agree naman.
Pero Yusek, I'm just interested to know, paano pala yung naging relationship niyo ni President Duterte? Because if I recall, in the 2016 elections, you ran under the party of Senator Grace Poe.
Yes, okay naman kami. Way before pa kasi, nung araw, naging pangulo ako ng mga vice mayor sa buong Pilipinas for 2 term. President Duterte, vice mayor din ng Davao. Meron kami mga engagement. So, meron kami mga napagsamahan na iilang pagkakataon. Kahit iilang pagkakataon lang yan, I'm happy that the President hindi niya nakakaligtaan. So, yun yung aming istorya ang dalawa.
Okay, go way back pa pala. Briefly lang, kahit na hindi pa nag-iinit ang iyong upuan sa DSWD, 2019, anong plano niyo, sir?
Una, as of today, no, dahil meron na akong responsibilidad na iatang sa akin, ibubuhos ko muna yung lahat ng oras ko to excel from this field, no, in my own little way. Hindi ko masyadong iniisip yung 2019. Katatapos lang ng hinihingal pa kami doon sa barangay elections. But I will not deny to you that I am the head of one of the largest local party in the city of Manila, the Ascenso Manileño. No? Marami na nakaupo ngayon sa lungsod ng Maynila, Vice Mayor, at lahat mga konsyal ay Ascenso Manileño. So I'm still leading and participating in some local politics with regard to policies of the party. But other than that, wala pa. National, definitely, ayoko na. I mean, hindi sa pinibibigyan ko ng tuldok, pero mas malayo yun sa...
So baka mas bumalik ka ng Maynila?
Maybe someday, yeah. It may be in the near future, maybe next time. Basta as of now, hindi siya. It's the least of my priorities because nakakaya kay Pangulo. Pangalawang pagkakataon na ito. Pangalawa, nakakaya sa mamamayan. Umaasa talaga ang mamamayan. Siyempre, alam mo, Ruth, kung hindi man, hindi sa pagbubuhat ng bangko, kung meron man nakakaalam, tunay, like for example, if we talk about urban poor.
Yeah.
Ayun, medyo, wala man akong academic background doon, pero may PhD ako doon.
Okay.
Kumbaga, yun ang linya ko. Kasi yung linya ko na yun, yung life experience ko, governance experience ko, in my own little way, I'll share it with our colleagues in DSWD.
Okay. Thank you very much and good luck to DSWD Undersecretary Isko Moreno.
Thank you.
And when we return, we have presidential spokesperson Harry Roque with us. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines.
China.
Apo,
Tapos na. Oo, ako yung bata pa sila eh. 9 years old pa eh. Anong pag-aaralan ng anak mo? Saan?
Sa kanya,
Ito muna, no? Oo.
Ateneo na, college tayo maglulutin. Lolo, oo. Ang bilis ng panahon, no? Doon pa tayo nakikita sa CPEC. Oh my goodness, matanda na tayo. Oo, to Xavier, ilang taon na tayong co-parent. Ano ba yan? See you, good luck.
You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello says he will issue an order today to lift a deployment ban to Kuwait completely. This under orders from President Rodrigo Duterte. Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque says a special envoy to Kuwait, Abdullah Mamao, made the recommendation. The move means domestic workers may also be deployed to the Gulf state once again. We have with us now Secretary Roque. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ruth, and good morning to everyone.
Sir, can you just tell us about this order and what's going to happen now?
Well, late last night, during the state dinner for the visiting Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea, the President ordered, upon the recommendation of Special Envoy Mamao, Labor Secretary Silvestre Bello to lift completely the deployment ban to Kuwait. No? This came after, of course, we had signed already a memorandum of agreement granting protection to Filipino domestic workers, although Secretary Bello said that he may require reforms, no, in the process of deploying domestic workers to Kuwait to include mandatory live-in training, no, to avoid any and all forms of frictions as soon as the worker arrives in Kuwait. I have to say that as a result of our visit to Kuwait, number one, we got the sense that the Kuwaitis were in fact proud of the fact that they want to be known as a center of humanitarian concerns in the Middle East, and it is farthest from their minds to actually tolerate abuses, no, particularly against our domestic workers. And number two, it's a very modern, very vibrant, very progressive, no, economy. No, I was shocked actually. I thought it would be a bit restrictive, similar to Saudi Arabia, but women did not have to dress in any manner.
Yeah.
And my description of Kuwait City really is it's a giant green belt.
Wow.
It's that amazing. No? And so I think as a market, it is a very good market for all forms of employment. But there's still concerns, of course. We don't want a repeat of Joanna de Mafiles. But what the Kuwaiti authorities stress is they did not like Joanna de Mafiles either. That they were equally shocked as the Filipino nation when they found out what had happened to Joanna de Mafiles. And that, in fact, they moved quickly and sentenced to death the employers of Joanna.
But Secretary, can you just explain to us how binding is this? What is it really? Is it an MOU, understanding, memorandum of agreement, and how binding is it?
It's designated as an agreement, no? So it's a memorandum of agreement. Now, under the Vienna Convention and the law of treaties, regardless of how you call it, it is a binding international agreement or a treaty if it is signed in writing by two states governed by international law. So I would say it is a binding agreement.
So talagang may mapaparusahan, no, in case may mag-violate. That we can be sure of.
Well, because now domestic helpers have become under the jurisdiction of the Department of Labor. The distinction in the past is that they were under the jurisdiction of the Ministry of Interior, and that meant they did not enjoy protection of the Kuwaiti labor laws. So the very positive development is they now enjoy protection as laborers for purposes of Kuwaiti labor law, and therefore all the sanctions under Kuwaiti labor laws in case there are violations not only of the memorandum of agreement but of Kuwaiti laws on employment will now be within the jurisdiction of Kuwaiti domestic labor courts.
Okay, so naging thorough po ba yung proseso in coming up with this MOU and then MOA pala, no? And then, hindi ba masyado na pabilis or...
Hindi naman po, no? Kasi nagkaroon na actually ng mahaba ang usapin sa panig ng DFA natin at ang UFA nila dito pa lang sa Pilipinas bago pa magkaroon ng issue. So in fact, the document that was eventually signed by Foreign Affairs Secretary Cayetano already has
initials of our local officials that negotiated it. No? So there was a technical working group, so it had the benefit of study and it had the benefit of prolonged negotiations. No? So, pero I have to say, pagdating natin doon, the stage was set to sign the MOA because the President had previously and earlier sent Secretary Abdullah Mamao, no, to do backdoor negotiations. And I would say as a result of Secretary Mamao's negotiations, we just breezed through everything. In fact, we were shocked that on our first day, the Kuwaitis did not even allow us to sleep. They had 3 meetings arranged for us, the Ministry of Interior, Labor, and Foreign Affairs. And I was very hesitant to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs because I was telling Secretary Telio, the Secretary of Foreign Affairs is coming, so they should be talking to the Secretary of Foreign Affairs, not us. And in fact, I told him maybe we should come up with a pretense and not talk to anyone in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs because this would be unprocedural. No? But the Kuwaitis insisted. And of course, you
They
can't
wanted
do
to finish
anything.
the whole...
Apparently, they needed to finish everything Monday because the following day there was a hearing in Parliament and they took a vote of confidence on both the Secretary of Foreign Affairs and the Kuwaiti Secretary of Labor on their handling of the issue with the Philippines. Of course, both survived the vote of confidence overwhelmingly, but they wanted to go to Parliament somehow with an assurance that the dispute with the Philippines had already been resolved. So, in effect, parang binigay ng Kuwait lahat ng gusto natin, wala masyadong ingay, at pagkatapos noon, ang talagang hinihingi nila is pag-normal na tayo. At yun naman ay pinagbigyan ng Presidente by lifting the deployment ban totally.
When you say lifting the deployment ban, will there be a formal order or written? Paano po bang mangyayari?
Well, it has to be Secretary Delio to issue the appropriate department order to authorize the POA to process anew work orders for Kuwait, for semi-skilled, skilled, and domestic workers.
Okay. Balikan po natin si Secretary Roque. Will be taking a short break. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Still with us, Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque. Sir, tuloy lang natin yung ating usapan tungkol dito sa Kuwait. Secretary Bello made a somewhat controversial statement about perceptions lang daw yung abuse ng mga Filipino workers in Kuwait.
Well, let's put it this way. There's 260,000 Filipino workers. Half of them, roughly around 150,000, are domestic helpers. So if you go by statistics, 1% of that is already 1,500. Now that's too many to be victims of abuse. And of course, what the President has said is even one Joanna de Mafilis is more than enough. It's one too many. So we don't want any of our domestic workers harmed in any way. But the reality is, just like in the Philippines, there are good employers, there are bad employers. And we can't guarantee that all Kuwaiti employers will be good. But what the MOA does now, and as a result of our trip, is that if they're abused, they're now covered by Kuwaiti labor laws. The cases can be heard by Kuwaiti domestic courts. And there's now a special police unit created to liaison with the Philippine Embassy so that they can provide speedy police assistance to distressed OFWs. So hindi man po natin magagarantiya na wala na pong masasaktan, wala na pong maabusong Pilipino sa Kuwait. Ang magagarantiya lang natin ngayon, meron pong saklolo na darating dahil merong Kuwaiti police na nakipag-ugnayan sa ating mga embahada at may protection na po sila sa batas ng Kuwait na dati po ay wala.
For other countries, may pinag-aaralan po ba tayo na magkaroon ng similar agreements?
Well, I think the United Nations, in fact, the International Labor Organization wants all the countries to ratify an international convention recognizing the rights of domestic workers. Ang problema, signatory to this. So it was important for us to have a bilateral agreement. Pero yung mga ibang bansa naman, kung sila ay signatory,
then it's also a binding obligation on them.
Okay, pero so far kasi nga ang sinasabi nyo dahil nga hindi part yung Kuwait, for other countries, hindi pa natin
Na kailangan, as a matter of policy, siguro mag-negotiate na tayo ng ganitong model memorandum of agreement. So kung walang protection by reason of an international treaty or convention, there must be protection by reason of a bilateral treaty.
Okay, let's move on to other topics, sir. Yesterday, the senators, sabi nila majority, around 13 or 14 senators signed this resolution na asking for a review of the quo warranto decision of the Supreme Court ousting Chief Justice Marilor de Sereno. Can we just get your reaction to
Well, the
that?
palace respects that. After all, they are legislators and they can express their sentiments to the Supreme Court. But the palace also respects that the Supreme Court, as the final arbiter of law in this country and as the final interpreter of the Constitution, had already interpreted that the Chief Justice, for willingly failing to submit her salience while a government employee, is a proper subject of a petition for quo warranto. So we also respect the decision.
Pero yung sinasabi nila na, of course, they're insisting na impeachment, yung karapatan nila at yung responsibility nila to do impeachment, constitutional power.
Sa tingin ko naman, nakasaad talaga yun sa saligang batas, pero sa kaso ni CJ, wala naman silang basihan para magreklamo kasi wala pa namang sinusumiti sa kanilang impeachment complaint. So wala pang sinasampa ang Kamara de Representante, so the court has not deprived the Senate of any of its constitutional prerogatives kasi wala namang impeachment complaint na tinransmit officially sa Senate.
Okay. Kahapon may statement si Presidente, tinanong siya about the next Chief Justice. Sabi niya, gusto niya daw yung may integrity at hindi daw babae.
Alam mo, hindi ko maintindihan if he actually said hindi babae. Pero ang sabi niya kasi, ang narinig ko lang is, tatanungin niya yung mga taga-ombudsman. Pero hindi yung babae,
No, but I saw the
hindi
video.
si Chief Justice. Kasi nasa likuran niya ako eh. This was in Malacanang, in between. No? So hindi ko narinig yung hindi babae. No? But I'd have to check if he really said that. No? But ang tanong kasi is, anong klaseng ombudsman? Sabi niya, ay nako, tatanungin ko rin, dapat yung hanga ang publiko sa integridad, narinig ko yun. Sabi niya, tatanong ko rin yung mga taga-ombudsman, hindi, yun ang tanong ko, yun ang rinig ko, na hindi yung, pero hindi yung babae, hindi si Conchita Morales. Parang ganun yung konteksto ng pagkarinig
the
ko.
question was also for the next Chief Justice, for the vetting of the JBC and for the next Chief Justice. Characteristic.
Ang narinig kong tanong was ombudsman. So ako
okay.
na, from behind him, I was saying, wala ka naman choice. So I was saying, I was whispering, trying, hoping he could hear me, that the President's choice really is limited to those nominated by the JBC. So it's not as if the President can pluck anyone from thin air. No? His choices are limited and he can't even say who his preferences are at this point because he doesn't know who will be shortlisted. Kaya I was like whispering loudly, it's really up to the JBC to recommend and he will choose from the recommendations of the JBC.
Another, sir, may resolution na isa pa from the Senate also challenging the withdrawal from the ICC, from the International Court.
Good luck, because I've filed similar cases where I sought to to order the executive through a certiorari. For instance, when we refused to become a member of the ICC, I wanted then President GMA to transmit the signed Rome Statute to the Senate for its concurrence, and that was dismissed. That was a case of Pimentel versus Executive Secretary, and the court there said that, you know, the conduct of foreign relations is really a function of the President, and because the President is chief architect of foreign relations, it cannot be the subject of certiorari because it's not discretionary, it's not subject of certiorari proceedings because unless there's grave abuse of discretion, and there cannot be grave abuse of discretion on matters relating to foreign affairs because the President, as I said, is the chief architect of foreign affairs.
On the cabinet naman, meron pa bang mga iniimbestigahan? Meron pa bang pinagre-resign?
Ngayon po sa mga secretaries, wala po ko alam. Pero of course, the President has recently created the Presidential Anti-Corruption Commission, and they inherited 400 cases from DESLA, the Deputy Executive Secretary on Legal Affairs, and that's the office that's accepting complaints against executive officials.
Pero syempre minsan may mga pasakali din ng Pangulo kung anong dapat gawin. Ano po? With these officials.
Siyempre po, basta ang pulisya po ng Presidente malinaw, walang lugar sa korupsyon sa kanyang gobyerno. It was intended to send off the scientists and to launch a buoy, no? Now, ang sabi nila, bakit daw hindi dumating ng Benham Rise? Ang sagot ko naman,
Malayo, oo.
no one can reach Benham Rise. Why? Benham Rise is extended continental shelf. Continental shelf refers to soil and subsoil. So if you want to reach continental shelf, you need the submarine. So let's not
Benham
take
Bank.
it literally.
Diba there's a...
Oh,
there's
let's
what
not,
they call-
or the Philippine
Yeah.
Rise, no? So let's not take it literally, because literally no one, you have to dive like in the pictures, no? To reach, that's Philippine Rise. But, you know, the president is not a certified diver, so I don't think it was within anyone's contemplation that the Philippines will actually dive to Philippine Rise. So I don't think it should be taken literally.
Jet ski.
But
The
it
jet
was a symbolic act, no? And the jet ski, I'd allow both pulong, I mean, Baste, I'm sorry, Baste and Sakbo to explain why they did it. Pero sa akin naman, again, it also stresses the fact that in addition to exploration and exploitation of natural resources, only Filipinos can enjoy Philippine Rise for recreation purposes. And of course, jet skiing is a sport. It is a form of recreation, and we emphasize that only Filipinos can enjoy, literally, the waters of the Philippine Rise.
Secretary Roque, next week naman, yung Marawi, 1 year since the...
Thousands and thousands of temporary and permanent homes already built. And what we're looking forward to now is the reconstruction of what is known as Ground Zero. No? Not Ground Zero, the most affected area, because that's the politically correct term to be used. No? And of course, we had already selected a project proponent consisting of about 7 companies. 4 are Chinese and 3 are Filipinos. But included in this consortia is a Mindanao-based real estate company of A. Brown. If you go to Cagayan de Oro, they're one of the biggest real estate developers there, having developed the most prestigious not condominiums, but subdivisions there, Xavier Estates. No? So we're confident that we are able to rebuild Marawi from the ashes of war, as promised by the President, and it will be a showcase. It will be something that the whole country will be proud of.
And another rehab and another showcase. Boracay naman, sir. I'm sure you've heard of reports na lumabas na may part of the mountains are being flattened down. How come we're talking about rehabilitation and then we're destroying a part of Boracay?
I think it's now very clear that the pictures that went viral on FB were not taken when Boracay was closed. It must have been taken long before Boracay was closed, and this is one of the reasons why we precisely had to close Boracay to stop activities like this. But the task force has already clarified that they are already stopping all forms of construction while Boracay is under rehabilitation.
So you can tell us now na hindi nangyayari yung
Hindi
construction
po
na yun? Or...
nangyayari yan. In fact, Task Force Boracay sent me a Viber message na yung mga pictures po, allegedly, ng leveling ng mountain was described as fake news. Sinabi rin sa akin ni General Anyo, yung balita na pinatigil daw ang demolition ng West Cove is also fake news. So, West Cove is being demolished, there is no construction ongoing, there's certainly no mountain being leveled as of now.
So walang ganong construction activity?
Wala po, kaya natin sinara ang Boracay para matigil yung mga ganyang mga pangyayari.
Okay, before we let you go, sir, pahabo lang, yung statement ni President Duterte na China will, not let him be ousted, or ano po bang story dun sa statement
I
na
think
yun?
the context there is while the Filipinos, an overwhelming majority support the President, and sa katotohanan, may mga dayuhan dyan, mga puti, ayaw sa kanya. Talaga nag-aantay lang ng pagkakataon na paalisin siya sa pwesto. Ang sabi siguro ng Presidente, ang konteksto niyan, kapag ginawa niya yan, may mga kaalyado ko nandito mismo sa aming riyon, mga Chino, mga Russians, mga Indian. At ito naman po ay alinsunod din sa kasaysayan ng mundo ngayon. May napakagandang libro na nalaman ko at diniscuss yan doon sa Board of Governors meeting ng ADB. Ang pangalan ay Silk Road. Talaga namang sabi ng Silk Road, ang world history now ikinikilala ngayon ng Asia bilang sentro ng pangangalakal at ng investments. So tama din yung ginawang desisyon ng Presidente na pumivot na ngayon siya sa Asia dahil talagang ang kabuhayan ngayon ay naririto sa Asia at hindi na po nasa Amerika.
Balikan ko lang yung gusto niyong sinasabi niyong mga puti and others na gusto siyang, sino po ito?
Mga westerners yan, no? Sabihin na natin yung mga dating mga kolonyal na nagnanais na naman magkaroon ng neo-colonialism siguro. Alam na natin kung sino yan, mga Amerikano, mga Europeans.
Okay, maraming pong salamat kay Presidential Spokesperson Harry Roque and thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Ruth Cabal sitting in for Pinky Web. You're watching CNN Philippines.